Hello, you're looking at a 2004 full-size Chevrolet van that is an all-wheel drive. Very rare to find these. This is not a perfect van, though it runs well. It's running, it has no problem, cold air, runs well. Has some cosmetic things that need to be fixed, or keep it just the way it is. Runs fine. Start off with the outside. There are a couple dents around it, all small, nothing in the frame or anything like that. Back here, the door latch rod is off the here it is here, it's off the latch, so it needs to be reattached. I was able to open it by just sticking my finger in both sides. You can see where it goes. So anyway, that latch is not there, so it does open and close if you do what I did. A couple scratches around. Inside it has these pieces of wood, I'm going to imagine, was to keep things from rolling around. They'll come right out if you don't need those. And just screwed into the bottom. It has a rubber mat over the whole bottom also, which is really nice. Keep from scratching up the inside and scratching up your cargo. The seat has a little bit of a stain there. No odors or anything. The air conditioning's blowing cold. Tires are decent. Has a 5.3 liter engine in it. It sounds good. The mileage is not high on this vehicle. Has a lot of life left in it. There's some rust bubbles on the very front of it. A lot of them do that. Nothing to worry about though. Set the camera here for a second. We're located in Bel Air, Maryland. You can hear me, it's a little windy today. Which is about 20 miles north of Baltimore. If you're coming from out of town, and that happens often, we will pick you up at the bus or airport. The airport is Baltimore Washington International. You can see this is an all-wheel drive, by the way. This is the main selling point of this vehicle. We will pick you up at the Baltimore Washington International Airport or the Aberdeen train station, or like I picked up two this week. People are taking the mega bus from the north and the south, and it has a very reasonable rate to the White Marsh Mall, which is not too far from Bel Air. So, also the visor is missing, sun visor here, but it's rare to find the all-wheel drives nowadays. And they are nice to have a full-size van that will go anywhere. And $105,000 really is nothing for this motor and drivetrain. I've sold these with many of them with over $200,000, and people have had them for a couple of years past that. Like I say, there's some cosmetic issues, but the body is, the motor and drivetrain run great. Bump here. I'll get out on a bigger road here and take it up to around 50 or 60. You can see how it goes through the gears. But this van runs nicely. It's not perfect. Mechanically it's good though. And you're in an area that gets a lot of bad weather, these vans are fabulous for a work van. Also, the windshield has some scratches on the inside, like maybe there was a box kept there or something, that maybe they set something there often, so that can either try to steel wool those or just leave it just the way it is. It's not cracked or anything, but it's scratched a little bit. I try to say every little thing I can think of so there's no surprises, you know, upon the day of pickup after the auction. Work hard at really looking over the vehicle. This truck will drive you home wherever you need to go, no problem. Don't worry about that. There we go, 55 or 60. He's running no shimmy, straight down the road, easy to drive. Now this is a no reserve auction, which means the top bidder will get it. Please do not bid unless you have your finances together, understand where we are located, all those things. You will need a $250 deposit within 24 hours of the end of the auction, and the balance is due within 7 days. You don't have to pick it up for 7 days, you have up to 30 days to pick it up. The gentleman that picked up today probably won the auction 20 days ago. No problem, but he did pay within 7 days. And that you must do. She's riding good. There's no noises in the transmission or rears or engine. Driving nicely down the road, and the air conditioning is cold. And the radio works.
This unregulated global market in the world.
So that's pretty much the story. Rare find, all-wheel drive van, just over 100, which is not many miles. Has some cosmetics, but runs great. And you know, if you want to wrap the outside, if you have a business and you want to put the plastic, you know, where it says your name, that'll cover most of the problems. And do a little cosmetics yourself, you will really save some money on this van. If one of the major fleet, sellers had this van in all-wheel drive, it would be priced very high. Look what other all-wheel drive full-size vans are selling for. Definitely in the $10,000 to $12,000 range, if not more than that. This one here sold no reserve. Top bidder will get it. Clean title, no bad history. And when you come to pick it up, we will give you a temporary license tag, the title, bill of sale, and everything you need to title it in your state. So buy this Chevy all-wheel drive full-size van.